The CDC is looking into a possible increase in invasive group A strep infections among children here in the U.S. This coming as the U.K. is reporting more than a dozen deaths in children under the age of 18 in the past 3 months. Fox 4's Lori Brown live in Dallas with the story. Lori.
Heather, while strep A is typically an infection that can be easily treated, what is concerning some experts is an increase in an invasive type of strep A that can be life-threatening.
Dr. Charles Dunlap at Pediatric Associates of Dallas and Plano says the invasive form of strep A, which the CDC is monitoring, is something parents need to be aware of.
It's still the same strep bacteria that causes common strep pharyngitis or sore throat. But in very, very rare isolated cases, it can cause more invasive disease.
There have been 16 reported deaths of children under 18 in the United Kingdom just since mid-September. The infection usually does not peak until February through April.
It can infect organs that normally strep would not be able to infect, such as maybe your heart, or to cause a really severe pneumonia. Some people have heard the famous or infamous flesh-eating bacteria. That is a form of strep infection.
Dr. Dunlap says the good news is that it is treatable with the same antibiotics that treat the more common types of strep A.
If they were diagnosed early and put on regular amoxicillin or penicillin, likely that would be the end of it. They would never know that they had the more serious, more invasive group A strep.
The CDC says parents should seek medical attention quickly if they think their child may have an invasive group A strep infection.
If your child or friend or loved one is looking as sick as you've ever seen them, maybe they're not drinking any fluids at all, maybe they're not urinating anymore, maybe they're not very responsive or they're so lethargic that they can't get out of bed, and they've had maybe milder strep-like symptoms earlier in the week, that is definitely a situation where you need to seek medical attention.
Fortunately, invasive strep infections are rare.
We see millions of cases of regular strep or strep throat in our country every year. But there are cases, this more invasive strep has an incidence of somewhere between 15 to 25,000 a year. We're talking really low numbers, nothing at all like we see with flu or COVID.
And while there has been a lot of talk about a triple-demic of flu, RSV, and COVID, you can add strep to the list of infections on the rise.
In my line of work, it's almost like, I don't know, a 20-demic, because there are about, and strep included, but there are other viruses, not strep not being a virus, but there are other respiratory viruses, rhinovirus. Pretty much everything is on the increase right now.
That means wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. Don't share food and consider a mask in close public settings. If your child has a high-grade fever, a sore throat, there is a chance that it is strep, which unlike the flu can be treated with an antibiotic. Heather?